West Valley young women, you guys ready to bake? Okay, so this is what you're gonna get when you get your special delivery. You're gonna get 2 tablespoons of oil, 3/4 teaspoon salt, 1/4 cup of sugar, 3 cups of flour, yeast, and this lovely pan. Okay, so when you get all of this, we will show you what to do with it next. Okay, so everything you got in your little pan is here. Flour, sugar, oil, yeast, and salt. The only thing you're gonna need is a cup of warm water. Make sure it's not too hot because it'll kill the yeast, and if it's too cold, it won't rise. So touch the water, make sure it's warm enough. And if it's warm, then you add your yeast. So you're gonna add your 1 packet of yeast goes in there. So your yeast goes, just the 1 packet, goes into the warm water along with the sugar. Add it all in there, stir it up, and make sure that you give it a good stir. Get all the big chunks out. And then we're gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes. Next thing, you're gonna add your salt, 3/4 teaspoon of salt into your flour and mix that. Give it a good mix. Doesn't have to be with anything fancy like a whisk. Just mix it up really well. And there you go. So once the yeast is proofed, you can see it starts to foam up on top, it's ready. Now you're gonna put just about 1/3 of your flour. Then you're gonna pour your oil in. Then you're gonna put about another 1/3 of your flour. And then put all this yummy stuff in there. You just put all the entire yeast mixture inside the bowl. For some of you, you're not gonna wanna use your fingers. Some of you guys just wanna use a simple spoon. Whichever you prefer is fine. But just give it a good mix. Make sure that water, all of that mixture on the bottom comes up, and mix it well. Then when it starts to get a little thicker, then you're gonna add a little more flour. So it looks about time to add more flour. Now you're not gonna put the entire thing in. You're just gonna put, maybe leave that much in or how much ever. Put it on the side. Then you're gonna we're gonna stir this up a little more, and then we're gonna take it out. You're gonna get to a point where you're gonna wanna start using your hands, and this is about that point. So I'm gonna put my spoon away, and then I've washed my hands already before I started this, and you're just gonna grab from the bottom and push down. Grab from the bottom, push down. Just go around the bowl, turn the bowl, grab from the bottom, push and turn. Grab from the bottom, put it down, push and turn. So you're grabbing all this flour and part of the dough, bring it to the top, push down and turn. So do this until your bowl looks like it's starting to collect all that loose flour, and then we can pour this out. So we'll put this out onto the counter and put all that little excess on the side. Now what you're gonna do, we're gonna start kneading the dough. So you're gonna take both hands, push down, pull back, and turn. Push down, pull back, turn. So you can take, there's these little bits and pieces you can throw in there as well. So You're gonna push with both hands, fold in and turn. Push, fold in, turn. And you're just turning it about a quarter of the way. Turn, push in, fold in, turn. You're gonna do this until your dough has incorporated all this little extra flour, and it's gonna be not sticky to the touch like how it is now, but enough where you touch it and it actually bounces back. So you'll want to knead this dough for about 8 to 10 minutes. So this is what we're gonna be doing for the next 8 to 10 minutes. So remember, this little stack of flour right here is to flour your dough. So make sure the bottom is nice and floured and just keep kneading. You're not gonna want to use that entire stack, but you'll be able to feel it. When you knead and your hands are sticky, then you know you need a little more flour. So you can flour it and even flour the bottom a little and just keep going. Okay, so after about 8 to 10 minutes, you can see that the dough is starting to come together. You can tell that it's done if you press down on it. The dough starts to come up slowly. So when you get to that point, you know you're done. But you see over here, you can see that I didn't use all of the flour, and you won't, but you will be able to, you'll be the judge of that when you start kneading your dough. So this is done. What you're gonna do is you're gonna try and push it out into a rectangle shape as much as you can, or an oval, whichever you can get. Then you're gonna fold it in and fold the sides in. Then you're gonna put this, pinch the sides and pinch the bottom. You're gonna put this back into the bowl that you were using. So this is the bowl that we had mixed everything with. You can see that I didn't wash it out, just use it. If you have spray the inside of it really well. Make sure you get all the edges. If you don't have spray, you could use oil. And what you're gonna do is put it in, coat it really well, and then turn it down, turn it around and coat it really well again. Then that's it. We're gonna put it in somewhere warm, like the oven, for about an hour to rise. So the trick before putting your dough in the oven is you come to your oven and preheat it to 200. Before it hits 200, turn it off and then put your dough into the oven. Stir your dough either with a cloth or saran wrap, and it goes into the oven that was warmed for 1 hour. Don't forget to turn your oven off. Okay, so this has been proofing for about an hour. Let's see how it looks. Yay! So once you get to this point, punch it down, pull it out. You're gonna do this again. One last time. You're gonna knead it out just a little. And then we're gonna put it back into the pan to rise for a second time. This time we don't have to knead it so much, but put it into a rectangle. Make sure your edges are pinched in, and then you're gonna roll this side in. Make sure your crease is at the bottom and pinch the bottom. And then you're going to grease your pan. If you have spray, use spray, or if you have butter, oil, whatever you have. is fine. Give it a good spray, and then it's just going to pinch the edges, fold it in. So you just pinch and fold. Round it a little, then you're just gonna put it into your pan, your greased pan. And then that's it. You're gonna cover it, put it back into the oven for another 40 minutes or so to rise. Okay, let's check on our dough and see how it looks. Yay, it's been rising for about 45 minutes. So if you can see, it's risen about an inch from the top of the pan, so it's ready to go. Preheat your oven to 350. You're gonna put this in for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, then we'll come back. So it's cooled. I've taken it off the rack, put it on here onto the cutting board, and we are gonna try and see how delicious this looks. How did our bread turn out? Yay! And of course, the best part about bread is the butter and jam you get to eat with it. There you go, ladies. So excited to see your finished product.